When a stage is just absolutely awful, cables are everywhere, nothing's been thought about in 20 years of what things look like, that can turn people away. It can distract people from what we're there for. And it could be a point of which people are exiting a church, or maybe not even exiting, just not even coming ever, because they're like, I don't see. And this is a subconscious thing sometimes. Sometimes it's an actual thing that people will talk about. But I don't see an excellence in what they're doing online. What makes me believe that there's going to be an excellence when I get there? For the record. Welcome to the Worship Leader Hangout podcast. I'm honored to have my friend Jacob from creativechurchco.com. He's the founder, the owner, the operator, with him and his team. And I want him to, first, let's just meet you and learn a little bit about you and then what you do with creativechurchco.com, like what that is. What's up, man? It's good to have you on the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is Creative Church Co.? Who is Jacob? How did this all come together to be a really cool product that actually just launched, right, in June?
Yeah, right at like June 1st, May 31st, that area. But yeah, my name's Jake, and I created creativechurchco.com.
Why?
Because I was a creative arts director for better part of a decade.
Yeah.
And I used some services for graphics, but I really wanted to find something that kind of had everything that I needed in one space and didn't have to go to different websites or scour Google or whatever I was trying to find that week. So I was like, well, why don't I just create something that is a one-stop shop for churches to get all the graphics that they need for $25 a month. So that's what I did. I created that, and we've launched, and we've been, full steam ahead the last 2 months with promotions, marketing, uploading new graphics every other week. So
right. So you were getting into, before I interrupted you, you were getting into like how you started that. Or at least it sounded like. So what kind of caused you, or what was that push over the edge to say, I like what I see, but I know I can do this and possibly even do it better, or in my way that would help churches all over be able to have creative elements for their churches, for their services.
Yeah, so I grew up as a pastor's kid, kind of been in church my whole life, and then did an internship with my home church in Virginia, and then I was on staff for about 10 years, worked with other church plants, graduated from Liberty University, got exposed to larger churches that were doing a lot of media, online church, that kind of stuff, and just really fell in love with serving God in technical arts, creative arts, and brought that back to Richmond, Virginia, in our home church there after, I graduated Liberty. And like I said, it was a small church plants. They don't usually have a dedicated graphic designer on staff at the church to, create whatever graphics you need. And so you rely on, things you can find on the internet, or some people have some type of backgrounds, but not everything you need. And we were really investing into the online church, before COVID, and everyone had to get into online church. And I was like, well, you know what? Let's just create. I learned how to do graphic design, and I learned how to do video editing, and it was all kind of self-taught. And then fast forward to now, I've taken a step out of, being on staff at a church, but still involved with church. And I was like, I'm going to create a website for churches of all sizes, but really geared towards, from church plant to maybe a 3 to 5 person team that's creating graphics each week and, that's just kind of where that came from me. So yeah, and then that's where we're at.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. And you said, one thing you said that caught me was you were at a smaller church that didn't have a full-time grad. I mean, there are small, medium, and large churches that are without a full-time graphic artist. So it almost doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter. Even larger churches, I've actually seen some of the content from like Church Motion Graphics being used by larger churches with 1,000 plus members. And I mean, you would think if the money's situated in the right way that they would be able to have at least a part-time graphic artist. But sometimes what's more important is actually getting that information out rather than making it 1,000% unique and original to your church. The event information or whatever you would use your graphic for, whether it's behind lyrics on Sunday morning or advertisements or sermon series, stuff like that. Yeah, in my opinion, I want good graphics and I want quality things on the screen or on the phone, but does it really matter if we made it 100% ours? Not really.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Now, of course, if you're seeing the exact same graphic from 100 different churches all over the area and all of them use it in the exact same way, then that can get a little weird. But kind of like VBS right now, I see a lot of the same themes.
Yeah.
This portion of today's video is sponsored by Waves Custom in-ear monitors. If you're in the market, you've got to check them out because they make a hybrid. And what's cool about the hybrid though is you can scan your ears with your phone, with their phone app. You send that into them via email, and they make a hybrid custom in-ear monitor. So it fits perfectly to your ear. It just has that little rubber tip that goes in, and you can get any of their driver or internal sets. And they have a ton of faceplates that you can choose from, and they're just gorgeous. And they're fully custom made in the US, right here in Greenville, South Carolina. So go check them out. I have a link below. Their prices are outstanding. They're not overinflated like some of the other companies we know about. The link is below. I also have a coupon code right next to that link that will save you either 40 or 50% off. Whatever I can get, I'll put in there and hopefully save you a ton of money. So go check them out. Again, that's Waves Custom in-ear monitors. So what makes Creative Church Code different from, say, a Church Motion Graphic or a Visual Church Media? Either one of those. I know those are probably two of the most popular ones out there.
Yeah, so I think we do two different things. One, we're a little bit more all-in-one. That's what we're trying to be as far as Sunday announcement slides, church motion graphics as far as worship backgrounds and motion backgrounds, things like that. Then we do collection graphics and packs, which gives you everything for Sunday service, including welcome, goodbye, verses, titles, even a countdown for the sermon collection. And then we do lower thirds in that pack, as well as some social graphics in that. So every single sermon collection pack comes with that. And then we do print templates as well. So rack cards, poster cards, sandwich board signs, flags, really designed to be the one place you can go if you need something for church graphics-wise. Then I would say we're a little bit different because we just do different graphics for a different, wider range of types of churches, okay? So we're trying to not just create the super trendy graphics, but the everyday graphics for maybe a more traditional church or churches that have potlucks and churches that have bridge groups and youth groups and kind of, different types of communion, not just your super modern or your super creative, but the really practical graphics that churches just need sometimes to put out the word about an event or, a sermon series or things like that.
Right. That's cool. Okay. So I'm going to throw you a curveball. We didn't really
Okay.
talk about this per se. But why is it important to you? Because it's important. I can tell it's important enough to you to actually like make your own business, start a website to sell graphics of all kinds. But why isn't it? But what's the heart, and why is it important for people to have a subscription and to even care about having a subscription to what you do, and not necessarily exactly churchcreativeco.com, but even though that's kind of what we're selling in this podcast, but why is it important for people to have good graphics, especially in the church, is what I'm talking about, and then also worship, like in the worship departments as well, because I know a lot of the worship leaders, at least that I've met, are some of the people that end up being like the main person for social media, if they don't have a specific person, volunteer or paid staff person for that. So yeah, what makes it where you wake up in the morning and you're like, yes, this matters? Talk to me about that.
So I would guess I would break that into two different parts.
Okay.
The first part is kind of, my heart is because I did it for 10 years. And I know that creative blocks happen. It's time consuming. There's a lot of things that go into just creating a baptism graphic or a sermon series graphic. And a lot of churches either just will use the one that they have, or they just don't use them at all. And I want churches to, one, have access to it, because I think that's half the battle. It's just having access to graphics. Yeah. And then why is it important to have graphics is, in this day and age, it's not especially, since every church had to go to online, basically, that really wanted to continue to present the gospel. It's not necessarily should we do this or should we not. It's, you kind of have to do it in this day and age to present the gospel to as many people in your community as you can. And it's a tool to, continue the talks on Sunday. It's a tool to present well, to present clear information, to no one's life is going to be changed through a announcement slide, but if they know about the announcement that there's a men's ministry meeting coming up and they start going to that, that's what's going to change their life, right? The event, the community, the gospel. But if they don't hear about it, then you're not communicating the best that you can, right? So
right.
That's really all it is. It's communicating better, communicating, and honestly, just like making it cool, making it interesting, catching their attention, because I think we're just like conditioned to like, if it doesn't look good, I'm not going to really pay attention to it, So that's kind of where I'm like, all right, I want people to stop the scroll. I want people to look up on Sunday and be like, oh, that's a interesting graphic, or oh, what is that? What's happening this week at church? And that's just kind of my heart, is one, the easiness of being able to just download a graphic that you need, and then really helping churches communicate their message more effectively.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I like that. And it makes a difference when, like you said, stop the scroll, or meaning, somebody's on Instagram or wherever they might be, and scrolling through Instagram, it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting, or that catches my eye, to then be able to be prompted to maybe look at a sermon or go to a service, even better, right? And also enjoy what you're looking at on screen. And to me, the reason why I make a big deal about it, because some of our volunteers continue to make things that I don't actually end up putting on the screen. Not that I don't tell them and then it's like, oh, why didn't you put that? No, they submit stuff, and I'm kind of that final that's not good, or yes, that's perfect, because I want to make sure we're putting out something that's excellent. Even the Bible says do things with excellence. Mostly talking about music and stuff like that. But still, even with our graphics, the things that we're putting out, I want to be able to do those things with excellence, so that way it will potentially catch the eye or catch the heart of somebody, and maybe even potentially bless that person that day, or even show them we care enough online and get them in the building and like, oh, wow, I like what I see online. Let me go. And then they get here and they experience life change. Maybe they give their life to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they, whatever, you can fill in the blank. But something is different now about that person, whether they rededicated themselves, gave their life to Christ for the first time. And it could come down to something as superficial as a graphic that they saw, but it caught their eye.
Yeah.
And I think that thing is important for sure. Whereas, on the other hand, it's not that bad graphics or bad ads, meaning like something that wasn't cared for, something that wasn't looked over and scrutinized by somebody in that position. And it just goes out and it's like, I'm just going to go past that because it's just a blue background with some white text and I'm not ready to look at that, Whereas good graphics can catch the eye and completely change that person's life, but not because of it necessarily, but because we were willing to put in the time and effort to make it look good.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of my personal drive to want to continue to see things be as best as they can in that world, in the world of graphics and Instagram posts and whatever it may be, Facebook posts. I want it to look as best as we possibly can. It's kind of like the stage designs that we do. I want the stage to look as best as it can, not because I just think it's cool, but because I want to honor God with what we have been given and present Him, with something beautiful, hopefully beautiful. I think it is anyway.
Yeah.
And then, of course, those kinds of things, when a stage is just absolutely awful, cables are everywhere, nothing's been thought about in 20 years of what things look like, that can turn people away. It can distract people from what we're there for, and that's to worship God and make disciples of the nations. Of course, we see that in Scripture.
Yeah.
Well, that's the last thing Jesus says. But anyway.
Well, I think even more than that, it's the stage designs that haven't changed in 10 years or even 5 years or whatever time length you want to put it on. People just kind of get used to coming in, expect, just seeing the same thing. Mm-hmm. I've been to churches where it's like, it doesn't matter what the announcement is, it's the same black text on the white screen. But
the people that are used to seeing that are the people that are already there. And the people that are already whether they're a sold out believer and they spend time in the Word of God and in prayer and worship every day or once a week, they're still saved, hopefully, what we want to see is we want to see a growth in the kingdom. And so that's why I'm like, all right, we can't get to a point where we're so used to this that we're not seeing new people, and it could be a point of which people are exiting a church, or maybe not even exiting, just not even coming ever, because they're like, I don't see. And this is a subconscious thing sometimes. Sometimes it's an actual thing that people will talk about. But I don't see an excellence in what they're doing online. What makes me believe that there's going to be an excellence when I get there? Are they gonna express care and love when I need them? Or is there going to be a place for me to worship and to serve, or whatever it may be, to minister when I get there? Or is it just going to be another church that doesn't care about so many things and hurts me. You know, people are afraid of that, especially the previously churched people. They're afraid of being hurt. And I know that's gone way deeper than just a graphic on the screen, but a graphic on the screen can scream exactly what you care about. Whether it's, you know, or it can scream like, this is how we care about everything, you know, whether it's I put time into this or not. And now, of course, there are anomalies. There are churches that are absolutely fantastic, and they just don't have an eye for what looks good on the screen, on the phone screen or on their screen at the church. So we, you know, that's when we come in and we're like, man, you guys are amazing. Let's see it sound, you know, especially good musicians. Like, I want it to sound better. We need a great audio engineer, because the musicians are fantastic, but without a great engineer, it's going to sound terrible, and vice versa. Musicians can be terrible, but you have a great engineer, it's still going to be terrible, right? So kind of the same thing with the graphics. Like the message of, maybe it's the sermon or the message of a post on Instagram might be great, but if it looks bad, it might as well just not even be there, in my opinion. But yeah, take us through just a quick, I know you don't have a computer there in front of you, but I do, so I'm going to walk through it because I don't know it like you do. But take us through like a little mini tour of the website and like what it looks like as far as if somebody wants to join Creative Church Co. or subscribe to that for their graphics. Yeah.
So we built it really simple because, like I said, we built this website and really the whole company around, you know, the pastor can download a graphic and put it up for Sunday, right? You don't need much, if any, technical training or graphic design experience. Yeah. So the main page just kind of takes you, just shows you a little bit about what each section is, and then there's some pricing plans on there. There's 4 main cores, I would say, to the website. There's Sunday slides, which are going to be those rolling announcements. You can use them as social media graphics if you'd like. They are really easy to put into ProPresenter, Easy Worship, Proclaim, whatever you're using, and just announce what you guys are doing each week. So baptism, ways to give, connect classes, life groups, potlucks, men's ministry, women's ministry, everything you need
right there.
In a church announcement right there. And
that's cool.
We're always expanding that, growing that, different, genres or topics to create so that you have at least 1 or 2 options. Right. When you're picking a youth group slide. Yeah. Then there is collection packs, which are our sermon series packs that I mentioned earlier. And that is everything you need for Sunday, for a sermon series, and online church, and a few social graphics already pre-made for you. Okay. You can, again, throw those into ProPresenter, and you're ready to go. Just add your verses, add your announcements. The lower thirds, I think, is a great benefit there for churches that are doing online church. Have, either a dedicated computer with ProPresenter running, or even if you just have the ATEM switcher and you're throwing the graphics into there each week, it really adds a whole different level of production value to your online church when you use lower thirds, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So that's that. And then we have worship backgrounds. So these are different backgrounds that have, at least five different variations of that background, whether it's a different color or shape or background in that. But they're packaged as, different names that you can go from a high energy opener song background to kind of a slower gradient, more, worshipful type song with a nice slow background. We're really trying to give different backgrounds for different needs there. And then we have print templates. So connection cards, postcards, sandwich boards, and flags. So if you need signage for next step classes, to pre-made connection cards, to baptism postcards that you want to hand out to invite people, all that's on there for churches. You could really get them printed anywhere. Like a rack card is a rack card at most places. A postcard is a postcard at most places. But I did do tutorials for each really section on like how to add in a graphic, and then I showed how to show people how to add them into Vistaprint.
Yeah.
So I've used Vistaprint in the past. So that's just how I showed people to add it in, and then those are kind of what the dimensions are for the print.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. Yeah, I like the print templates. Those are really neat. Yeah, we'll probably be redesigning our connection card soon. I'm not really over that necessarily, but I do get that final look at it. Do you provide like a Photoshop file or the actual file that you made those on, or like
no?
What's that situation?
Yeah, we don't do that yet.
Okay.
Because we are designing it for the people that have no graphic design experience and really want to make it really simple. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that, because we haven't really talked about it yet, but I want to bring in other designers, other graphic artists, and some people use Illustrator, some people use Photoshop, some design really great things on Canva. So, as we bring in people, it's all going to have to be kind of standardized, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. So,
yeah, that's cool, and that's okay, because I understand like your heart is to help out the people that don't have a lot of experience in that. But anyway, maybe you can have different levels one day, or offer that one day, especially because the one that I see being the ones that are not an issue are the like backgrounds and stuff like that. But if you have a way to edit like the connection card, because there's specific questions that we ask on that.
Yeah.
But the way it's designed is something I may not have thought of, but I do have a question I need to put in there, that I could change out something or add in there. But anyway, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't think that your target market will worry too much about it, but something to think about.
Yeah,
for the future.
For sure.
But anyway, because I know I do that a lot with our announcement templates that we download. I will go on the Photoshop file and change things, move things around. I might even change the fonts or things like that. So just, I don't know, something to throw out there.
Yeah.
But you guys are basically brand new, so the sky's the limit from where you go now, especially with the print stuff. Like that's still a big deal. Even though everything's digital, having something to put in their hands or something to grab out of the chair in the front or the pew in the front, like that's still relevant.
Oh,
and so
it's really important.
Very relevant.
I plan on doing because I want to do some long form stuff for the website and for the brand, just to kind of explain to churches why certain things are important. And I wanted to do one just on print and signage, because imagine going into any store and they didn't have a single sign on where things are, whether it's JCPenney or a grocery store. It'd be very hard to find things if you've never walked into that building before. And I don't think people really think about that when they think of church, because again,
some people don't.
They all go there, that everyone knows where it is, or they don't. They don't think about that.
And if you're not going to have a person like a guest service person, which and it's a miss, man. It's a miss. Some bigger churches that I've been to, in my opinion, fail on that side of things. Like that's a miss on their part of not having guest services directing people where to go, or not having proper signage. Like you got to have at least one or the other, but even better yet, you got to have both. And your print media section could just be filled up with all kind of very valuable assets of church signage, connection cards. I mean, even like a new age bulletin type of thing. business cards. I mean, the sky's the limit because, I mean, the Vistaprint templates are just not good.
No.
And then, you know, sometimes we're just like, well, I don't really know how I want this created other than just putting it all on, but you can make it look really good with the expertise of you and your team. So I think that's really valuable. Sorry, I got excited about like paper just now. So
yeah, it's
maybe
I still love like something really well printed, or you know, feels good in the hand. You can tell. Again,
me too.
They say like business cards are one of those things that just never really go out of style because it tells everything you need to know about someone just in the card.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter what it is.
Yeah.
It's just like you can tell what kind of
invite
business
cards
it is. Invite cards are huge.
Yeah.
People put things
we
on
have
their
an invite
fridge
card
still.
rack. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's why couples are still mailing save the dates.
Mm-hmm.
You can put it right there on your fridge. You know, they're not emailing a save the date because nobody checks email.
No.
But they're going to hand it out potentially or mail it because most people check their actual physical mail. So anyway, that's really cool. I love what you're offering.
Thank you.
If somebody wants to go check it out, we've said the website 100 times, so hopefully they know that. But if somebody wants to check it out, it's creativechurchco.com.
Yep.
And what is your social media? Just Creative Church Co?
It's Creative Church Co. You can search Creative Church Co. On Instagram, it's Creative Church Community. So a lot of people think it's actually like company, but it's
community.
It's actually community. So Creative Church Community.
On
Instagram, we're on, but it's Creative Church Co. on TikTok and YouTube.
Okay. Very cool. You just got a new follower on Instagram. And so you have TikTok too. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then you have YouTube. Yeah, what kind of stuff are you posting over there? Just like
so right now it's just cross-platform with Reels, the short form content.
Okay.
I post obviously different things on Thread, so more like just questions and things like that. But yeah, I want to do some longer form content on YouTube to really explain things a little bit more in depth for people that.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be good because it's like just knowing what to do. Once I download it, what do I do now? That kind of thing. I could see that being important. That's cool. Yeah, man. Well, I want to just wish you the best of luck. Praying for you guys.
Thank you. And
I just hope it explodes. We'll put a link below if you're interested in Creative Church Co. And what they offer. If you want to go check them out, we'll put a link below. But man, I appreciate you being on this and not just talking about the product itself, but also talking about like your heart behind why you started a company in 2022 or whenever it was that you had that in you to want to start it. But it wasn't just, I'll start this. It was the experience before that to say, no, that led you to the point where you're like, no, I need to do this. And now instead of just helping one church, you're potentially helping thousands and thousands of churches, hopefully one day, to make their content look as best as it possibly can. So that's really cool. That's really cool. And healthy competition is healthy, especially in this world, because not only will it help you, it'll help the others to go, you know what, there's another voice in this space. So now we're going to step our game up. Well, then it'll help you step your game up every month, releasing new stuff. Yeah. And I think it'll just make it better and better. Give churches another option. Yeah. Especially with that print media, man. I think you're absolutely right about like not hardly anybody's doing that. I could be wrong. There might be 1,000 companies doing that, but I don't think so, man. I haven't seen it until now.
Churches. So yeah.
No, you're right. That's what I see. Yeah, you see it for other things, but yeah, that's cool. Well, keep at it, man. Keep going.
Yeah, and I wanted to remind you that we still have your discount code active.
Nice. So if anybody goes on there, it's our discount code is WLH.
WLH, 50% off
at checkout.
Dang.
50% off at
Yeah.
checkout. That's really cool.
So
Well, that's really cool that you're doing that for
get a
them.
subscription.
Yeah. And if you want to pay monthly, you said it's $25 right now a month?
It's $25 a
Or
month for the full
$250
website.
a year, isn't it?
$250 for the year. Yeah.
And that's
is
for
about
everything.
$20 a month.
That's
That's
right.
everything.
And that's for everything.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's kind of like a some websites call it premium or like their elite subscription. So, and I did see some other things, like if you just wanted something else or like one aspect of it, it's cheaper or whatever it was, or I don't.
Yeah, if you
I need to do more research on that.
I'm not into selling churches things that they don't need or don't want. So if
Yeah,
you just
that makes
need
sense.
worship backgrounds, or if you just want print templates, I think there's a
Oh,
couple
it's
different options, but they're
15,
$15 a month. So
That's
you
cool.
know, just kind of pick what you need.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Well, man, it has been an honor.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure to hang out with you and talk about this.
Appreciate you having me.
If you need us for anything, just let me know. But yeah, if you're interested in what they do, go to creativechurchco.com and put in the coupon code WLH and you'll get 50% off. So, and that, I don't want any of that to come back to us. Just let me know how many people join within like the next month or so.
All right,
I would just love to hear those numbers. So, yep, that'll be really cool to hear. I hope 300,000 people join within it. I'm just playing.
Well,
I mean, hey, you never know.
30 million churches
I will.
in the
Yeah.
US or
Well,
something.
hey, there you go. All 3 million. You'd be like, yeah. Are you sure you don't want anything from this? Yeah, just give me a %.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. But no, I really just want to hear, even if one person signs up from that coupon code, that'd be really cool to hear.
Yeah.
That would make my day. So just let me know.
Cool.
Really. But yeah, I mean, we have the potential to send, people, but I see about 10-ish%. I don't care if people hear this. I see about 10% of like our viewers, the 10% will actually go to the thing, whatever it may be. Like if I do a Church Motion ad, or if I do what is it called? Ultimate Ear or Waves, about 10% will click on that.
Okay.
But then only about like 1 or 2% will actually follow through with the purchase or whatever and convert. Yeah. And so just something to think about, but hey, we'll push it.
Yeah.
Just be a
No,
word.
I appreciate it.
I love to share church resources anyway. So this is a church resource.
I think it's great that we get to, do this together, and I really I do want to help churches out. That's really the heart,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so much for watching this. It's an honor just to have you guys watching this, and I really appreciate it. And again, it's creativechurchco.com. Remember, great worship leaders are always learning. We'll see you next time. Anyway, thanks so much, man.
Thanks. Hey,
Really is an honor.
You.